Shortly after Easter vacation each year, Corps members are engaged in community development projects. The project usually lasts 4 weeks during 1 year service period of the National Youth Service Corp. During this particular period, members of the Corps assist members of the various local communities to carry out development projects which members of the various communities themselves have on their own embarked upon. This year's community development program of the NYSC kicked off in Oyo State in all the local government areas on Monday, April 11, 1983. About 4,000 coppers were posted to serve on various community developments in Oyo State. Even though all primary and secondary schools in the state are on holidays, their final year pupils and students don't have any, as they seize the opportunity of the NYSC scheme to get additional training in preparation for their final year examinations. Corps members were not confined to schools only. Some were found engaged with street and house numbering. Others were located while mixing cement, water and sand for road and fence construction. Today at Iseyin Township, the Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Chief Bisi Akande, launched the 10th National Youth Service Corp Community Development Program. The Deputy Governor also used the occasion to inspect the construction of a bridge on the Ipadi-Oluwole Road, Iseyin, the project on which the members of the National Youth Service Corp are participating. In his address, Chief Akande appealed to the communities of the NYSC to inculcate real spirit of service in the Corps members so that they can be good examples of sacrifice and national service to members of the local communities. He went further.
I want to take this opportunity of the 10th anniversary celebration to congratulate the National Directorate of the National Youth Service Corp as well as the State Committee of the National Youth Service Corp for the success which the scheme has so far achieved. Many similar schemes have been launched and have failed before they attain their 10th anniversary. That the NYSC has succeeded is certainly enough reason for celebration. That is why members of the Malete Kosho community have attracted the attention and the help of the Iseyin South local government as well as the help and the attention of the state and the federal government as represented by the NYSC.
While one may give credence to the saying that leaders are born, not made, one must concede the fact that leadership in a modern society requires a certain degree of preparation and orientation before the assumption of that role. That preparation and orientation of the NYSC scheme is increasingly facing objections from youth coppers serving in the scheme. According to what some of them told TSOS News, the community development program normally lasts 4 weeks. This year, it has been reduced to 2 weeks. They claim that by reducing the community development program from 1 month to 2 weeks, funds will automatically be cut into half. Besides this, other problems also surfaced.
Within 2 weeks, you can't make any reasonable impact on the community, really. You know, like we want to make this fence. You see, if we want to make any reasonable impact within these 2 weeks now, then we have to overwork ourselves, work very hard. You know, I'm not really against working hard, but I really mean we have to overstretch ourselves to make any reasonable impact.
Many of the coppers here, they haven't got any kits on. No uniform, nothing whatsoever. Although I reported here and I enjoyed the job. I enjoyed teaching school children. But I presume the government know they can't handle this thing. It's better to scrape this thing off. And let's forget everything about NYSC. People go and look for their job, in their respective field.
Mrs. Esan, the Chief Inspector of the NYSC Oyo State, agreed that the scheme lacks sufficient financial support from the federal government, but refused to admit that the short 2 weeks community development program this year would not be of great significance to the community.
The people that don't have uniforms will be very few, but it's true that kits had not gone around every single person, but they are in very small minority. It's not the federal government that is trying to avoid payment of 3 naira. It's the NYSC that looked into its purse, what we have to run the scheme this year. And we thought that we should cut the CD to 2 weeks in order to be able to accommodate the program within our monetary resources.
Even though this year's community development is only for 2 weeks, the Aseyin of Iseyin, Osuolale Adeyeri II, and 2 other benefactors of the NYSC scheme expressed their sincere gratitude.
In actual fact, today's launching ceremony is a success because for the mere fact that this type of programs has never been launched in Okeogun here. I mean Okeogun, starting from Iseyin, Okeo, Shaki, Kisi, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a big success for the people of this town.
Of what importance is the NYSC scheme to these townspeople?
Thank you very much. The people of ethnic group who constitute the NYSC will interact with my subjects. That's one of the most important things, and even they will mix with the cultural and traditional activities with us here.
I think the development program organized by the NYSC is very significant. In the first place, we have not got money to prosecute the project, but since they supply us with 33 youth corpers, we have been able to start. Then I was very much impressed when they work.
Now the corpers started their work on the 11th of this month, and they have been doing well in the school, but most of them had no uniform. So it was hard for me at first to know them until I asked for their identity. And when they showed me, I realized that they were actually the corpers. So I located them to their classes.
Much has been said about the usefulness, defects, problems, prospects of the National Youth Service Corp since its inception 10 years ago. Although the program has undergone considerable changes since May 1973, when the original decree set up the scheme, many people now believe that the NYSC scheme is due for reassessment. The program radio program of the NYSC is so systemic and all-encompassing that none of the groups and functionaries involved in the program seems to be enjoying its participation in the scheme anymore, concluded one political analyst. And as the federal government sweats under the financial burden of the scheme, the NYSC officials labored daily to cope with the attendant operational problems, while the youth corps suffered untold hardship in their helpless strive towards a united, strong and self-reliant nation. This situation, many believes, calls for a critical assessment of the NYSC scheme. National Youth Service Corp office at Kilometer 8 Old Ife Road, Dotun, Onibokun, TSOS News.